Good morning and thank you for tuning in to Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand FM 88 and on NBT World. Today is Sunday, November 2nd, and you're with me, Surapat Lautharanarit. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has encouraged all Thai citizens to display their loyalty to His Majesty the King by partaking in various activities to be held to commemorate His Majesty's 87th birthday anniversary this year. Speaking on his weekly TV show, Returning Happiness to the People, General Prayut announced that the government is cooperating with all sectors in organizing commemorative events on the auspicious occasion of the 87th birthday anniversary of His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej this December 5th. Scheduled from November 30th to December 6th, the events will take place in every province of the country. In Bangkok, the main venues will consist of Sanam Luang Ceremonial Ground and Rajadamnern Klang Avenue. As part of the celebrations, visitors will be able to observe exhibitions on His Majesty the King's royal activities, talents, and achievements, as well as royally initiated projects stemming from His Majesty's sufficiency economy philosophy. There will also be cultural performances and sales of outstanding products from all 77 provinces. Meanwhile, General Prayut expressed admiration towards Mr. Saing Han Prakon, a 63-year-old man who recently walked from his home province of Phrae to Sirirat Hospital in Bangkok, where His Majesty the King was staying. The 500-kilometer journey, which took the man 11 days to complete, was only to show his dedication to his beloved king. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has called on relevant agencies to step up surveillance to ensure safety ahead of the Loi Krathong festival. In a televised speech to the public, Prime Minister Prayut said that he had instructed the Ministry of Interior, the Royal Thai Police, the Ministry of Transport, and the Ministry of Tourism and Sports, as well as local administrative bodies, to keep patrolling spots where Loi Krathong celebrations will be held. Since the celebration is performed near rivers, safety and rescue operation is a prime concern. The Premier called on agencies in charge to inspect all piers and to check rescue equipment prior to the festival. To make sure that the security and safety measures implemented will be effective, General Prayut has ordered inspections of fireworks factories and shops, threatening to impose tough penalties on those failing to abide by the regulations stated in the permits. Entertainment venues found to allow minors to enter or operate later than usual will be held responsible if anything goes wrong. Prime Minister Prayut also suggested that parents have a role in watching over their children and that loss preventive campaigns should become a habit so that the country can spend the money on the country's development instead. Thai and Cambodian leaders have emphasized cooperation in border area development and the promotion of people-to-people contact. The issue was raised for discussion during the official visit of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha to Cambodia on October 30th to 31st. Khun Chetana Kantar has the details.
Accompanying the Prime Minister during his trip were Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister General Thanasak Patima Prakon, Minister of Tourism and Sports Kop Kan Wathana Warangkoon, Minister of Social Development and Human Security Police General Adun Sang Sing Keo, and Deputy Transport Minister and Secretary General of the Office of the National Economic and Social Development Board Ahom Pitaya Phaisit. During his talks with the Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen, Prime Minister Prayut stated that the Thai government is pushing for the establishment of special economic zones in border areas. It has approved the development of Sa Kaeo and Trat provinces, which border on Cambodia, as special economic zones. He also proposed the formation of a working group under the Joint Committee on Border Area Development and Connectivity, or JCBD, between Thailand and Cambodia. Thailand is ready to host the second meeting of JCBD in early 2015. According to the Thai Prime Minister, Thailand is ready to cooperate with Cambodia in improving the living conditions of Cambodian people living along the Thai-Cambodian border. It will also continue to carry out projects on community development, public health, occupational development, skill training, and the solving of problems concerning human trafficking. These projects have received a positive response from the Cambodians. Thailand has attached great importance on public health development along the border and will continue to provide training for Cambodian public health personnel. Regarding labor cooperation, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha asked Cambodia to send more mobile teams to speed up the national verification process for Cambodian migrant workers in Thailand. More than 600,000 Cambodian migrant workers have so far registered with Thai authorities. He thanked Cambodia for reducing the passport fee for the migrant workers at 4 one-stop service registration centers along the Thai-Cambodian border. He said that Thailand is conducting a study on the opening of a new border checkpoint between Nong Ien in Sa Kaeo and Satung Bot in Ban Tơi, Mien Choi. Both Thai and Cambodian governments will accelerate discussions between officials involved in order to open the border checkpoint soon. Prime Minister Prayut also proposed that both countries come up with joint packages to promote tourism between them. He reiterated that Thailand has a policy to encourage Thai businessmen to invest overseas, especially in neighboring countries. Cambodia is a major destination in terms of a production base, a labor source, and a market for Thai products linking with southern Vietnam. On this occasion, Thailand and Cambodia signed 3 memorandums of understanding: an MOU between Thailand and Cambodia on bilateral cooperation in eliminating trafficking of children and women and assisting victims of trafficking, an MOU on rail route connection, and an MOU on bilateral cooperation in tourism. This is Jetana Gunther reporting.
Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan said upon his return that China is ready to support Thailand's agricultural sector. The comment was made after his official visit to China, accompanied by Mr. Somkit Jatusi-Pitak, a member of the National Council for Peace and Order. According to the general, several issues and bilateral cooperation have been discussed, such as China's support for Thailand's agricultural products and investment in the dual-track railway project. The details of the visit will be officially announced by Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha later, said General Prawit, adding, however, that several issues need to be further discussed with the Cabinet before being finalized. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has approved 3 additional draft laws in their first reading. One of them concerns the improvement of the Social Security system to benefit more workers. During their latest meeting, NLA members voted 150 to 4 with 19 abstentions to accept the Social Security bill in principle. As a revision of the existing law, the bill seeks to extend the Social Security coverage to temporary staff of government offices, clarify the definition of the term disabled employees, and raise the state contribution to the Social Security Fund. Minister of Labor General Surasak Kanchanarat affirmed that the much-awaited bill will be beneficial to all insured persons and the nation as a whole. He said the bill is considered an improved version of the current law as it is more inclusive. At the same time, the Fisheries Bill was passed in the first reading on a vote of 179 to 1 with 4 abstentions. The bill is aimed to update fishery-related laws in order for them to correspond to technological advancement and current social conditions. as well as lay down a system for sustainable management and conservation of marine resources. The NLA also voted 184-2 with 4 abstentions to approve the Sports Authority of Thailand bill, which seeks to modernize related laws to pave the way for improvements in the Thai sports sector. General Lertrat Ratanawanit, a member of the Constitution Drafting Committee, or CDC, said the CDC is expected to hold its first meeting next week, right after the National Reform Council, or NRC, chairman signs the appointments of all the 36 CDC members on November 4th. General Lertrat said that pending a proposed suggestion on the Constitution draft from the NRC, the CDC members will be visiting people in each part of the country to gather public opinions and will also listen to opinions from different sectors, including the Cabinet and the National Council for Peace and Order. General Lertrat expected the NRC's proposal to reach the CDC by December 19th, after which the CDC will hold a meeting to assign clear responsibilities to each member. According to him, the CDC will have 5.5 months left to complete the drafting of the new constitution. He also confirmed that all the CDC members were selected transparently and that all of them represent a wide range of professional fields. Therefore, he was confident the public would give recognition to the new constitution without having to conduct a referendum, which demands a budget of 2 billion baht and 3 months to complete. He believed the public hearing would be enough for the new constitution. The Bank of Thailand, or BOT, has reported that the Thai economic growth in the third quarter of 2014 was lower than expected, but the tourism sector started showing signs of gradual recovery after Asian tourists returned to visit Thailand. Executive of the BOT, Rung Malikamat, announced the economic situation in September and the third quarter, saying the economy grew more slowly than the central bank previously forecast, with a modest growth of 0.5% in the private sector's consumption. The factors which affected such growth included high household debt, low prices of agricultural products, and the government spending, which had also been lower than expected, said Ms. Rung. The third quarter's investment was still negative at minus 1.7%, lower than minus 0.1% in the previous quarter, in part due to low demand for products. However, the government's budget disbursement for investment in the third quarter was better than the second quarter with the recovery of the tourism sector. The central bank could not say for now whether the third quarter's economic growth would make the economy of the whole year expand less than 1.5%, said the BOT executive. She added that the Monetary Policy Committee would consider the matter on November 5th. The Thai economy will likely expand by 1.4% for the whole year of 2014, according to the latest projection by the Fiscal Policy Office. Mr. Grisada Jina Wicharana, Director of the Fiscal Policy Office, or FPO, indicated that the clearer political direction and the recent economic stimulus measures will result in higher growth in consumption and private investment. Coupled with the state's continued disbursement of budgets, the Thai economy is expected to expand by 2.9% in the latter half of 2014. The current projection for the whole year expansion at 1.4% is a downward revision from the 2% growth projection predicted in July. Mr. Grisada said this came about because the export and tourism sectors recovered more slowly than expected. For the year 2015, the FPO projects that the Thai economy will expand by 4.1% after being buoyed by state sector spending, higher consumption, and increased private investment. Exports are expected to grow by 6.5%, in tandem with the recovery of trading partners' economies. The Electricity Generating Authority of Thailand, or EGAT, has set plans to increase the electricity generating capacity for national energy security by establishing 7 more coal power plants and 12 more alternative energy power plants by the year 2022. Deputy Governor of EGAT, Ratanachai Namwong, said the nation's electricity demand had been continuously increasing. Thailand now needs 52,000 megawatts, and it is likely that the country will need 70,000 megawatts by 2030. EGAT therefore has to plan an increase in its power production capacity by building more power plants, said Mr. Ratanachai. From 2019 to 2022, EGAT will construct 7 more coal power plants with a combined capacity of over 6,000 megawatts in Krabi and Songkhla provinces. By 2020, 12 alternative energy power plants with a combined capacity of 14,000 megawatts will be set up. All of the new power plants will use technology and guidelines for community engagement from Germany so that they will be accepted by surrounding communities. Mr. Jumpon Sampaupon, Deputy Governor of Bangkok, led officials of the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, or BMA, to inspect the city's bicycle lanes around Ratanakosin Island to collect information for use in the improvement of those lanes. The Deputy Governor said that there were many complaints about unsafe bicycle lanes due to unclear signposts and rough surface of the lanes, which can cause accidents. Mr. Jumpon said Bangkok aims to encourage the use of bicycle lanes by adding more lanes and make it easier for users to distinguish bicycle lanes from normal car lanes. The BMA has also instructed its offices, such as the Traffic and Transportation Department, the Public Works Department, and the Drainage and Sewerage Department, to improve manhole lids for smooth riding. Moreover, the BMA will also seek cooperation from the Metropolitan Police Bureau to issue regulations prohibiting all types of vehicles, particularly tour coaches, from parking in bicycle lanes. He said new parking lots for coaches will be provided by Bangkok. Mr. Jumpon said the adjustment of bicycle routes will also be implemented and is expected to be completed by the end of this December. Greenpeace invited media to attend a press conference under the topic of ecological agriculture, a climate-resilient model of agriculture to tackle threats of food insecurity and climate change. Due to extreme weather events like droughts and floods, Greenpeace has called on the science community to step up its support for ecological food production in a bid to build resilient agriculture that can endure the threat of climate change and ensure food diversity and nutrition security. Greenpeace stands strongly against genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, a breeding technology in producing crops that can adapt to extreme and changing climate conditions because it is dangerous to consumers' health as well as the environment. Daniel Ocampo, Greenpeace Southeast Asia, Philippines, has talked about negative impacts of GMOs and nutrition insecurity issues. Greenpeace is now calling for stakeholders to support ecological farming for sustainable food production, which does not harm the nature. Ecological farming is accessible to small farmers instead of focusing on technologies that only big companies can afford. And that's all for today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. We'll take a quick break now, but before that, let's take a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. First among them, to uphold the three pillars: the nation, religion, and the monarchy.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough! We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
The public is invited to the 2014 Preserving Thai Culture with the Loi Krathong Festival at the government's Public Relations Department. On the 5th of November, you can watch the Noppamat Queen Parade, see concerts and performances by famous artists and celebrities, enjoy the culture court, amusement rides, and shopping for merchandise. On the 6th of November, you can attend the spectacular Loi Krathong Festival opening ceremony at the pond in the grounds of the Public Relations Department, Bangkok.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Now time for ASEAN and beyond. On his two-day visit to India to enhance bilateral and regional ties, Vietnam's Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Dung receives a ceremonial reception hosted by his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. He was received by Modi and retinue of Indian officials, after which he inspected a ceremonial guard of honor. Later, Dung, accompanied by his wife Tran Tan Kiem, visited the memorial of Mahatma Gandhi. Dung's visit to India comes just a month after India's President Pranab Mukherjee traveled to his country. The strengthening of ties between the two countries, also in defense, comes as both are embroiled in territorial disputes with China. Trade between the two countries increased by more than 30% to $8 billion in 2013 to 2014 from the previous year. And now let's take a look at what's happening elsewhere in the globe. An Oregon woman being monitored for possible Ebola infection has been hospitalized after registering a high temperature. The woman, who was being monitored after traveling to an Ebola-affected country, has been placed in isolation and is not a danger to the public, Oregon health officials said. The health officials did not disclose much information about the patient, but said she was being monitored and that the Providence Milwaukee Hospital was well-trained and well-equipped to handle an Ebola patient if need be. The worst outbreak of the disease on record has killed nearly 5,000 people, all but a handful in the impoverished West African countries of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. The White House celebrated Halloween with scores of young trick-or-treaters and 200 pumpkins carved by volunteers. The Obamas welcomed local school children and children of military families at the White House. More than 4,500 people were expected to visit the White House for Halloween, the White House press office said in a press release. Hundreds of children in costumes ranging from Superman to astronauts joined U.S. President Barack Obama and the First Lady Michelle. The Obamas, who opted not to wear costumes, handed out special White House Hershey Kisses, black licorice and orange tangerine, jelly beans, and a sweet dough butter cookie for the occasion. As the trick-or-treaters walked across the South Drive, they were entertained by Halloween music and greeted by in-costume actors and volunteers. And that's all for today's edition of Newsline. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newsing. And for now, we're going to say goodbye with a haunted house in Chiang Mai, where tourists celebrated the night of Halloween. I'm Suraphal Lautharanarit. Thank you for your company and have a wonderful day. สวัสดีครับ